Hello, we're live.
Trick or treat.
Oh,
Trick or treat.
wow. So we're doing this. We're doing this. And I feel bad. Like, I know Bronwyn's dressed up as a witch. I'm trying to figure out if Wade is dressed up or not. I don't know.
He brought his mustache.
Huh?
He brought his mustache.
It looks like he's dressed up as a
sock,
like
a soccer
strung out
soccer coach.
level 2 sock. Level 2 sock. What?
The sock manager just like had a day with an IR engagement.
Just like, oh man, the forensic imaging took 3 hours.
They said they blocked the IP, but then you know what? IPs get blocked.
They never did. They never did. And we have Mike. Mike is Mr. Robot, which is awesome. And we have, what do we have?
That's Mr. Robot? Oh, I thought he was a Monopoly guy. That's what I
That one's Mr. Robot.
Monopoly guy. Do not
Same
pass
thing.
go.
Yeah, there's the Guy Fawkes mask, but that's a play on the Guy Fawkes mask. So. All right, are we ready to kick it and bring up the crooked finger?
Let's do it.
Kick it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Black Hills Information Security talking about news. So we literally all just read the news for the show today, like 5 minutes before the show started. So it's going to be a bumpy ride today. So like buckle up. It's going to be awesome. I am joined as always. I've got Corey is here. We also have Ryan, who makes us look and just feel good too. We got BSD Bandit. Yip. Mike, as always, thank you very much for joining. Bronwyn. Oh, my God. Ralph has hair.
That's not Ralph. That's
I don't think it's in
Marvelous, darling.
And we have Ian, who's a bear, I think. We
That's
got
Trash.
Ted
Can.
it's a
Haskell.
raccoon. It says it in the name.
It's a raccoon. Okay, we got Ted Haskell. We got a hash panda.
Haxo, Ted Haxo. It's like Lasso. No.
It's
Man,
like
no
you don't
one
even
watch-
know who works here, John.
No one watches Apple TV nowadays. I feel like it's the golden
It's been a
show.
long week. Take it from here. I'm going to go get some
It's
coffee.
been a long week. It's Monday.
Well,
We
so
stirred 'em up on it.
okay. The first story is this is why I haven't used encryption. I've just been using HTTP for years, and this is why, because there's vulnerabilities in encryption. That's why you should never use it. Just go clear text over the internet. What could go wrong?
I base 64 everything. No one knows how to get rid of that. Just quick base 64. You're good. Don't worry about it. That is good.
You don't use DES?
No. Why?
What's
Ba-
wrong with base 64?
What's wrong? Yeah, exactly. Right. Like if Chocolatey can use it, I can use it. It
Everything.
works.
Perfect.
Everything.
Well,
yeah.
why don't we just go back to just only using web
Yeah.
and wireless?
Well, I mean,
Web's a good example of bad crypto. So
no, web just had too many numbers. That's why.
What
It
made
was too many zeros.
web bad? I always love asking people what made web bad, and it's funny because they always try to come down. It's like, well, it uses DES. That was why. It's like, no, it literally made every single bad crypto decision. It all converged in a perfect storm on wireless or wired equivalency protocol, and that's why it was so bad. So,
but it is equivalent to wired in that it's
it
not
is
very
equivalent
secure.
to wired. Maybe he's a little more secured. Than, I don't know.
To be fair, wireless was never really designed to be secure in the first place. It was supposed
But
to be
neither-
an extension of the network.
Neither was the internet.
Neither
Well, that's
was,
true, too.
neither was
HTTP.
RPC. Technically, if we go to RPC, that wasn't supposed to be secure either. Like,
Real private
OpenSSL.
try to
conversations.
exploit this. What kind of a-hole would try to exploit these things? So,
Well, I don't know who found the OpenSSL vuln that we're
actually,
gonna
let's talk about that. So, the OpenSSL vulnerability, Ryan, I'm going to share with you the article. Oh, he's already got it. There we go. It's kind of funny. The OpenSSL vulnerability is very mathy, and it basically has to do with memory corruption based on what type of execution path you're going to be going through and like validating certificates. But specifically, it is in OpenSSL version 3.0.4, and it specifically impacts systems that have the AVX512 instruction set, which is Advanced Vector Extensions. Which is basically extensions from 32-bit ported over to 64-bit. And it's funny because reading the article by Guido, and I'm going to share that link real quick here, where he's talking about the actual vulnerability and walks through it. If you read through the whole entire thing, right, like RSA Z 1012, RSE 512, dual 1024, RSA Z, default constant time Montgomery modular explanation, like if you're reading all of this and you're like, yes, this all makes sense to me, I need you to send an email to jobs@blackhillsinfosec.com. Again, that email address is jobs@blackhillsinfosec.com. And but basically, whenever you get down to the bottom, he basically says, yes, let R to the power or R1 be allocated space to which the attacker can read and write, for an example, internal TLS state, whose value is set to an extent determined in how the attacker conducts the handshake. Point is, they can read and write memory on a computer system. And apparently there is some debate inside of the OpenSSL team about whether or not this is a security vulnerability. And I think it's adorable how the people in the OpenSSL project are like, we shouldn't call it a security vulnerability unless we know that it can actually be exploited in the wild. It's like you're writing to memory that you're not supposed to write to. Just assume that there's a young budding version of HD Moore out there that's just getting excited about writing an exploit for this. So
there is a mitigation for this attack. You know that, right? So AVX 512 is getting removed from all the new Intel CPUs. They are getting rid of it, just taking it out. So just get a new CPU.
There you go.
Done.
You don't have to worry about any legacy architecture, any legacy hardware out there.
No. It's upgrade season, guys.
You
There you
read
go.
mine.
It's upgrade season.
That a 40 series, we're good to go. Go
Yeah.
get one
All
of those
that,
8
all the
terabyte
Cisco
drives.
devices that are out there, just replace them all. It's fun. Is this a Cisco device running on a Celeron? Yes, it is, and you're paying $40,000 for it.
Right.
Next question.
Well, that process worked about as well for what was it, Meltdown, and what was the other one, Spectre. It's like, we can't turn it off. We can turn off the microcode, but yeah, your CPU's basically going to lose 20% efficiency. Good luck, cloud people.
Yeah. Every time I see that error, do you want to take a 20% hit? I'm like, no, actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the vulnerability.
I paid for the whole CPU. I want to use it. I don't care about vulnerabilities.
My CPU, and I want to use it now.
Something I shouldn't say. I've already had one executive that I talked to who wasn't a customer, just somebody that I was talking to that had some general questions about security. And he said, with this new vulnerability, I think we just need to find everything that's using OpenSSL and just remove it from our environment. If we're running Microsoft, we're fine, right? And I'm like, oh, dear God, no. So the whole internet runs on OpenSSL, and it's literally developed by like 5 guys in their parents' basements. So good luck.
At Red Hat. Their
Well, I
parents'
think-
basements at Red Hat.
So
I think the bigger question is how many people, since SSL 3 only came out last year, are actually up on that. If you take a look at a lot of the running systems out there, if you've got your inventory, many of them, and I forget which site went ahead and posted a listing of OSs, most of them are running still SSL 1.1 versions.
So we're
and
secure.
haven't even up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
we're
this
locked
is only
down.
affecting 3 and above. So
Yeah,
the
so we're
question
good.
is where's
So
that?
once again, I think, Mike, the lesson that people need to learn is don't patch, don't update.
And don't use OpenSSL. Just use HTTP. Don't worry about
Can I
it.
quote you on that, John?
No, I mean, what my concern is that you're going to get execs that are going to be overly worried about it, and people are just going to haphazardly upgrade and create more problems on their internal networks.
What?
well,
No.
It's like what Blake said, right? It's just log4j all over again.
What's
People
actually gonna
do-
happen is-
It's actually, I think it's, well, Log4j, I think is definitely in there, but I actually think it might be closer to the Heartbleed.
yes.
all right.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Is the Internet Storm Center? The first line of it was, "Some of you may be old enough to remember Heartbleed," and I said, "Oh God, no."
You were like,
When we
I remember
start
before
there-
Heartbleed.
Ew.
Let's bring
agree.
back Blaster.
Oh my God, 03026. That's right. Yeah.
What's probably unfortunately going to happen is everyone's going to be like, okay, can we patch this? And all the admins are going to be like, we don't have a patch. There's no patch for Cisco. There's no patch for Linux, whatever Linux we're using. There's no patch unless we're on
So we're pretty
rolling
much
kernel.
screwed? Yes, we're pretty much screwed. Next question.
Where's the POC at? That's what I want to know. Where's the GitHub POC?
See,
Well,
that's the same bullshit. So that's the same thing that happened with DNS and Dan Kaminsky, right? Speaking of ancient vulnerabilities, back in 2008, there was a bunch of people that were like, well, I'm not patching it unless there's proof that there's an exploit. And this was after Metasploit had released modules exploiting it. And before he gave his talk, there were still vendors that were like, we're not patching unless we know it's an exploit. Their quote was from AT&T, we don't patch because Dan Kaminsky tells us to do so, right? And when you look through the GitHub comments for this particular vulnerability, oh, it's a kitty, I feel better. But for this particular vulnerability, we're seeing the same thing where people are like, well, I don't think we should list it as a security vulnerability until we know it's exploited. By the time it's exploited, it's too damn late. Yeah.
But Cloudflare will save us all, right? Cloudflare will be like, we got you, fam. Somehow we figured out how to patch this at the network level.
Yeah.
Check for
Oh, there's a kitty.
Definitely not.
It's definitely not.
I'm getting a cat for Halloween. Don't worry about it.
And that's the look on the sysadmin's faces when you say patch. Right there. That cat's look
Right there. They're like, no, I'm not. We talked about, BSD was talking about Blaster, right?
Yeah.
And the same type of bullshit back then. It was like, well, we're not going to patch until there's an exploit. It's like, oh, dear God, there's a worm. Came back in 08, 06, 7 with Conficker. Sorry, my German friends. We saw that we're not going to patch unless there's an, oh my God, Heartbleed. Then what were some of the other ones that we had? Okay, the Log4j. You can look at all this, and it's just funny because I like that meme. It's like, ain't nothing going to happen. This is just going to be something Ralph and Corey will be using to exploit environments for the next 10 years. For people to be like, well, we were supposed to patch that? I don't know. Shell Shock was a great one.
Yep.
Mikhail Zelinsky, Google security research.
Or is it going to be like Poodle? Is it going to be like Poodle? Is it going to be like
Oh.
Poodle where it's like, I still don't really know how to do it. If I had nation state level resources, I could probably do it. But
how many times have we seen Poodle exploited in the wild, though? Or
zero.
Well, the NSA is probably doing it, but they're probably the only ones.
I don't even think the NSA is doing it.
I actually,
hold on.
I spent a whole day, John, one time looking for a way to exploit it. And you know what I came up with? Nothing. The internet gave me nothing. It was zero things to exploit.
No. The internet
doesn't mean
always
it's
gives
not
you something.
possible.
It may
I'm
not
just
be
saying-
what you think you want, but it always gives you what you need, Ralph.
He found a reason to rebuild his system. He found a reason to, he found a virus that he ran and then had to rebuild his VM after that.
Yeah, he had to rebuild.
You know how many times I shelled my own box looking for the POC? It was ridiculous.
You know what? Screw it. Stop right there. Stop right there. What I want to do is I want to jump straight into this next news story because I think it's relevant. Right here, GitHub hijack attack. So here's the way that you do this if you're an evil person, based on what Ralph and Corey were saying. What you do is you find the unexploitable vulnerabilities, like Poodle, Oracle padding attack, and then you literally create a GitHub repository of exploits that are already combined into an executable format. If you're like, you just need to run this executable, like just run the name of the executable and the name of the IP or the IP address that you're targeting. And
we compiled it to make it easier.
We compiled it to make it easier. It will exploit every pen testing firm on the planet within a week.
Do not submit to Virus Total, please.
Do not submit to Virus Total.
Yes, this day is used for research only.
Somebody did that a while ago. I forget which vulnerability it was, but they built a fake POC.
Yeah.
Was it right? No, man. Somebody built a fake POC, and it was exactly that. It was to see how many security firms would pick up on it, and a bunch did. They're like POC in the wild, and they're like, this does nothing. It loads a meme.
Get rid
It didn't stop us from retweeting it, did it?
You on the
plenty of people.
Yeah, on the website too, on the Git repo, you just put a README and then actually like a compiled file. And everyone's like, oh, well, it must be, it must be open source. Look, I can see that. Well, I got to download it. I got to execute it first.
I want to do it. I want to do it so bad, but I'm absolutely convinced that me of 20 years ago would have totally have done this, and it would have been just fine. But today, I'd have all these people like on my ass. They'd be like, "How dare you do this? This is actually a malicious attack." Blah 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 blah. Like, no, we're making a point.
And making
I'd
a
be able
song.
to speak at DEF CON after getting out of prison. That would be good.
You wouldn't lose your job, so there's that.
That'd be a good talk.
Yeah.
See, that's the concept. of concept.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. What part of POC do you not understand?
Like, it just have
and
a
you can
T-shirt
literally
that
put
says
in the
"Raining
read
Beacons."
me like what it is.
Have
All
a
right,
T-shirt
so-
that says "Raining Beacons."
It's raining
Raining
beacons.
Beacons. Hallelujah.
So, all right. So back to this GitHub story. So basically, some researchers found a flaw in GitHub where basically you could stand up. It's basically namespace collision. They call it repo jacking, where you could redirect people into GitHub repositories that they wouldn't normally go to. Which, once again, totally like what we were just talking about. And I'm just wondering, do you start to think that maybe we're trusting GitHub just a little too much in the industry with this stuff? I'm just wondering if I'm missing something. Oh, look, it's a cat. I feel better.
I mean, GitHub has a no malware policy, so I don't see how this is possible, right?
Yeah.
What's the definition?
You know what I
of malware,
love
then?
is when
Dear
Corey
God.
talks, it seems like it's the thoughts of the cat. Like
Right.
Everything is fine. I'm just gonna be a cat. That's my sysadmin strategy.
patch
Everything he
later.
says, it's just totally the cat. By the way, we're totally loopier than normal because of Halloween.
Yes.
It's Halloween.
What? Oh, oh dear God.
He might have ran that POC.
May have ran that POC. Yeah.
I mean, this is like supply chain buzzword, right? Oh, it's GitHub's in our supply chain, and this exploit's on GitHub, so it's technically like a vulnerability in our, pipeline or whatever. That's the scary thing.
You're right, security cat. You're right. By the way, did anybody see I don't know, I think it was Gartner's upcoming like trends of 2023. It was interesting from a buzzword bingo.
Ooh.
Gotta find it.
Were Cybercats on there?
There should have been.
Sounds like a manager article to me. Something that, hey, did you get this?
All right,
And
here
then
we go. Here we go.
It's like,
Okay,
please
so-
enter your
so
job
get
title
this.
to continue.
Get this. I've got to share this. We're just going off ramp because
Which budget are you responsible
Kitty is
for approving?
inspiring me. So it's basically like Gartner identifies the top 10 strategic technology trends for 2023.
Ooh.
And like the
Sustainability.
strategic technology trends of 2023 are built around three themes: optimize, scale, and pioneer. Where technologies can help organize, optimize,
OSP.
resilience. Okay, so here we go.
The
So in
metaverse.
Pioneer, here we go. These are the things that they think are going to define 2023. The first thing right out of the gate, which if I was a sane human being, I would stop reading at that point, metaverse.
Yes.
So
How
we
much
got to start
did
doing the
Facebook
news
pay
in the
for that?
metaverse. Let's do the news in the metaverse. I got metaverse
Yes.
news. We do it right now.
They like totally like stepped in it right there. The next one was a super app. I mean, what the hell is a super app?
It's a single pane of glass that
It's
puts
a
all your
single
apps
glass.
in.
Yes.
Have you not seen Avengers Endgame? Have you not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's an
just
app.
like seriously, it's like almost all examples of super apps are mobile apps. The concept can be applied to desktop client applications like Microsoft Teams.
But see, John, it's simple because it's just an app, a platform, and an ecosystem in one. Everyone knows what that means.
But I've never once, security cat, ever once have I had anybody refer to Microsoft Teams as a super app. Like,
Or a platform or an ecosystem.
or an ecosystem. It's none of those things.
I have seen some of these super apps out there where they're like, we can solve every one of your problems. Just pay us, right? Like just one app.
Yeah.
That's it. One
What
app.
is it?
Oh.
What's the WeChat?
Oh my god! All right, we
That's
got
a super app.
There's
That's a
10 things from Gartner.
It spies on you
Adaptive
too.
AI. Like
Adaptive AI. Can
seriously,
they make
it's like-
AI work? How are you going to adapt it? If you just got
Dude,
Right.
work.
And isn't self-adapting AI bad? I mean, I don't want to get into Elon Musk today because
Oh god, then we'll have to go on to Twitter.
This is an if statement with an else.
Yeah, so that one's bad. Then optimize. They actually like seriously. Someone had to be joking at Gartner. Like, reach
Yeah.
out to me. I'm not hard to find because if you're trolling, this is next level shit. Like digital
No, no.
immune system.
John, they got the bad Halloween candy.
Yeah.
That's what they got the bad
Or
Halloween
no,
that our
no.
parents
They,
have been warning us
Do not-
about.
They got the
Do
good.
not
Halloween
eat the red
candy.
rope licorice.
They got the good
not
Halloween
eat the
that,
red
that,
rope.
that candy they tell you not to that all your children are gonna get, and that's the one.
Yep, that's it.
I
It
think it
all
was
is
written by AI. That's
Do you
my
know
theory.
what?
It's
They're
written
all-
by
Like, can
So
we get
get
a
your
meme?
super.
That is
Can we get a meme of can we get a meme on the screen of what is it? The Masters of the Universe tripping balls meme. Like
Hey, what?
that's the Gartner headquarters right now. They're all just like. So
Yeah.
where do we go? Where do we go after digital immune system? Applied observability?
Oh my goodness.
What the
They call
hell?
logs.
What is
They
happening
call that
here?
logs.
Oh my god! Right? Like
doing
usually
a
there's
bunch
What is
buzzword
going
bingo,
on?
but these guys are like next level game level.
If,
Did a
if-
bunch of
does
Gartner
anyone? We all learned
an opium
we-
pen for a bit.
I'm telling you, listen.
All right.
What if
All right, who
Gartner
fed,
gonna
who
mess
fed them a
around-
whole bottle of Malort?
Right.
I
Oh,
love
Lord.
how this is just setting
Malort
off everybody. Like our comments are exploding. We're all
I
talking
ca-
over each other. Like this is
didn't-
next level shit. Like this is great.
It really is.
It
it
is.
really
Didn't we
is.
all
AI,
learn
AI risk
from
and
this?
security management. That actually, out of everything, sounds the sanest.
AI trust sounds sane to you? What does that even mean?
That's what I mean. Right? Isn't that weird?
Is they're already getting into the future of the problem? They're like AI trust and risk management. You see, this wasn't an issue before, but if you applied the adaptive AI, you now have a new issue.
No, I think they're going to say so.
You need the trust AI to keep in the adaptive AI because that AI has trust. It's learned.
You
So
have two
it's like, hey,
fighting AIs in your organization. It's two
Only thing I
AIs.
can
The
think of is
adaptive
Austin
AI.
Powers.
There are two AIs.
What
hi,
I'm thinking
that's-
of is Austin Powers cross Mojo like exploitation.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Hi,
so
this
let's go
is
to
Gartner.
scale.
Get your super
Let's
app
go to
today.
scale. We
The
got to
one
keep going.
with
Scale.
training
They
material.
say industry cloud platforms. Like they offer a combination of SaaS, platform as a service, and infrastructure as I don't know. And Gartner by 2027 predicts that more than 50% of enterprise will use industry cloud platforms to accelerate their business initiative. Like, what the hell? We meet that now. Like over 50% of the companies on the planet are using cloud. Where's Gartner coming up with this stuff? Like,
I'm calling it. Next time I'm doing phishing calls, I'm going to pretend to be Gartner. I'm just going to ask all kinds of questions. Hey, I'm with Gartner. Do you guys have adaptive AI risk modeling? No? Okay, you're going to need to run this payload for me.
Hello, my name is John Strand. I'm calling from Gartner. Would you be interested in some? All right.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Then the other one is wireless value realization. Like,
What?
no single technology will dominate enterprises. We'll use spectrum of wireless solutions for all environments. From Wi-Fi and what the hell? They predict by 2025, 60% of enterprises will be using 5 or more wireless technologies at the same time. Which I'm pretty sure you
Simultaneously.
can go to Vegas
Oh,
and
my
you can get
goodness.
hooked up with that.
You're like, hold on, let me
Wi-Fi,
NFC, Bluetooth scan the
Bluetooth,
Wi-Fi address,
RFID,
and then use my flipper to unlock the door with my coffee. I don't.
All I
One
want to say
zipper
is
to rule them all.
get your super app today. Security sold separately.
Holy crap! We're only
Well,
like
that's it.
20
No,
minutes into the show, and I'm already
Ben
burnt
just
out.
nailed it. You need one of the super apps run by platform engineering to handle your wireless value realization that gets outsourced to your trusted AI. And
Well, yeah, but
Can
it's on the
someone
metaverse.
make like a
It's on the
super
metaverse.
virus? Can we
Did-
make a super virus or something? It's
we
like a
tried that
super.
a few years ago.
Does
Yeah,
infrared
maybe
count
that's-
as wireless?
Maybe
I thought
that's
they
what
made
we
a
do.
super virus called Da Vinci.
Oh.
Yes, that was in
I
the
guess,
80s.
yeah, it's got to be a platform, an app, and a service at the same
And it
time.
has to have a digital immune system with adaptive AI.
And trust
yeah.
AI. And the trust AI.
I
You
do
can't-
think
can't-
the digital immune system in particular is bad because we learned in 2020 no one understands how the immune system works. So we're
Oh,
like,
that's
Let's
right.
recommend you get a
let's
vaccine.
make
God.
let's
Yeah,
make
that's-
security more confusing by applying an analogy that no one understands what an immune system is in the first place, but now it's on security. It's like, what?
I just
Infosec cat, take a nap. You're
I
ready.
can't wait for the Twitter arguments that start arguing against subnet masking. That's going to be.
We don't need it anymore.
So one of the things I want to say, like, we have to get off this article. We're never. This is like a black hole. How many shirts do
fodder.
you have, Wade?
Too many. It gets so hot,
He's
and
like
I'm in
the
San
Angus-
Diego.
he's like
Oh
the
my.
Angus Young of Infosec News right now.
I'm like an onion. I just
He's
have
just-
layers.
So one of the things I want to say to Gartner is thank you, because one of the big things that I always tell people is Gartner is full of shit. And I always get people all the time that are arguing with me about that. And they're like, what do you mean? Gartner's very respected in the industry. You've just given me an article that I can open up and I can share with anybody who disagrees with me on that. And I'm like, I'm going to read this, and I want you to stop me when any of it makes any sense at all.
I imagine you have a bookmark folder
Right here,
where it's
dude,
just Gartner, and it's just...
It's not, Wade, it's not a bookmark. It's my goddamn home screen. It's that important to me. We have this. It's glorious. It's glorious, and I know it has to be a troll. Like, it has to be a troll. Somebody's like,
I hope so.
No one's going to read this, and now it starts blowing up, and they'll be like, "Oh God, what did Steve do? What did you do, Steve? What did you do?"
They're gonna be like, this is written by our super app AI article creation AI, so we actually can't help you with that. Good luck.
Security not included.
Somewhere the Gartner people just gotta chill. They gotta chill, and they're like, John Strand's angry again. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, John's ranting? No one cares. Look at the cat. He doesn't care.
Look at the cat.
You shouldn't care either. No.
If I see that pop up on...
Bronwyn said instant winner of Buzzword Bingo. It's not even Buzzword Bingo. It's like that three-dimensional chess they play on the Enterprise Bingo.
Yeah, like this is way beyond that. Oh yeah.
I think that's going into four-dimensional chess.
Yeah. Four. Screw it. Fold it. Fifth dimension. That's what we do. All right.
Hypercube. Buzzword hypercube.
So we need to roll on. I want to talk a little bit about Liz Truss's phone being hacked. And I don't know why I find this really, really funny, but I do. Because basically what happened is like Kremlin spies hacked into her phone because she's literally the prime minister, right? And I can just imagine like how the conversation was in like, you know, Moscow, where like we've totally hacked into the prime minister's phone. We've got access to absolutely everything on her phone and Liz Truss. And then like literally within a few days, they're like, scratch that. She's no longer prime minister.
Yeah.
We're going to do this all over again.
New phone, Android this time.
New phone, Android. So what is it with nation state leaders and like putting sensitive things on their phones? I mean, I guess that Gartner did say that wireless technologies would be converging, and your phone has like 5 of them right now.
At once.
And then the big thing is they're saying that the current prime minister is Boris Johnson, and they believe that he's suppressing this story. And I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a weird story with detailed discussions about arms shipments on her phone, which seems to me like that's something that shouldn't be on one's phone.
She accidentally linked her work device to her personal device.
I'm surprised they don't just issue the prime minister's like one of those like call boxes that they have to go into to like place.
Give them a TARDIS.
I think the Usted has like one of my favorite takes. I really hope someone gets yelled at for burning a 0-day to exploit on 40 days of access for the prime minister.
They're like, dang it, she doesn't have anything useful on here because she already quit.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic.
So Eric G said, I know a former politician that can loan them hammers to clean their phones. That's good. Those hammers are like $80 a hammer, though. Those hammers aren't cheap. I know that as well.
This does kind of tie into something that we talked about quite a bit on the show, which is like the Pegasus scary malware, like one-click adware exploit type of deal where it's just like super scary. But yeah, I guess this is to be expected, right? If you're a head of state, you're just like, well, I don't click any links anymore, or at least you should.
But it wouldn't matter, right? Because whenever we're looking at like NSO Group and what they have the ability to transmit 0-click exploits to people's devices. I don't think NSO Group was behind this, but you would think that Russia would have that same type of capability. By the way, Blake pointed out somebody suggests update your password every time the UK Prime Minister resigns. Telling you these jokes, they aren't going to get old. They're awesome.
Yeah, don't do it every time there's a new queen, or because that's gonna last
that
like
might
100
be a
years.
while. My password is exactly A. Because back in my day, that was a secure password. Thank you, dead Queen of England, with that oddly specific password.
On that phone note, though, it's kind of I can't help but think back to the first Obama administration when he was one of the first like tech presidents, and they made such a big deal out of we've got to issue him a BlackBerry. It's got to go through the NSA. It's got to get all this different stuff, and then what in the UK and one president later, it's like use your crappy Android from like 9 years ago. It's cool. Go ahead. Like, how is this happening? I don't understand.
I kind of akin it to years ago, whenever I went into the classified world. This would have been like 2005, I think, is whenever I started working in classified. Before I went into the classified world, we were spending all of our time hunting down personal email use and killing it with fire. And the reason why is because you couldn't protect it, right? Like you couldn't protect Yahoo Mail or Gmail or any of the emails that were out there. And it was like this pathway right into our environment at Department of Interior, and we were killing it with fire. Then I go into the SCIF, right? And the SCIF is like no internet connectivity. Everything's locked out, and spend like 3-4 years in there doing SCIFy type things. And then I come out, and literally every company that I see and I'm pen testing is allowing their users to go to private email providers. And the reason why was just ease of use. You try to shut down private email across an entire company. It sounds like a good idea until the executives can't get their kids' soccer schedule on their computer at work. So then they open it up for absolutely everybody. So I have a theory that when you're looking at Obama and at that time, they're like locking everything down, and then Trump shows up, right? And we know that Trump was a nightmare whenever it came to trying to lock down his phones. I mean, Republican media and liberal media were both like, Trump likes his phone. The dude is tweeting in the middle of the night. That's just kind of what Trump does. And it broke them over time. So I have a theory that it's kind of like that. You had a good idea and implementation of computer security, but over time, like whether you're a prime minister or you're the president or anybody, like they just get sick and tired of putting up with all these restrictions, and they wake up one morning and they're like, wait, I'm the president of the United States. I'm the prime minister. I don't have to listen to that IT geek, and then they don't. That's my theory.
Yeah,
It sounds like
you didn't have me until that last line, and then I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's what I do. Save the hook for the end. Yeah. Tim J said, I love the SCIF. No random emails, no phone calls, no windows. I actually worked in a SCIF that did have windows, and it was kind of cool because they vibrated. That's a long story. Windows, you can listen to them.
I will say anecdotally, most of the orgs that we test, at least from my experience, do actually not allow personal email. They actually have typically they'll have like an exclusion group where they're like, these executives are allowed to their personal emails. Like seriously, they'll have a group with like 8 people in it.
And that just shows that they don't care, right? It's like policy schmolicies.
I think that's a lot. That varies across international boundaries as well, right? So from what I've found, European users are actively use computers a little bit more freer than Americans, whereas in like this is your this is your company's asset. In Europe, it's much different. Like they're allowed, I think it's in GDPR. Don't quote me on it, but they're allowed a personal folder on their computer where they can put personal stuff, and you're only allowed to go in there with very like specific rules. Like if an antivirus file triggers in that folder, that's the only time you're allowed, and usually it's through some type of automation. A human can't view it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know that from the European side of it. Executives, everyone is equal, but some people are more equal than others. And then at the end, the pigs look like the people and the people look like the pigs. So love the Animal Farm reference. China uses 126 COM for everything, business, personal, and extracurricular. That's good to know. Now companies use mobile device management for company stuff, but the open on the part. See, I don't see a lot of companies using mobile device management, like when we're pen testing, or at the very least, we're not allowed to go after it. You just don't see
I might have been breaking that rule a lot because I always go after it. It's like one of my favorite targets. Yeah, because a certain vendor who will remain nameless, first of all, has a certificate template that gets instant DA at most companies, and second of all, allows single-factor registration. So I just type in my credentials that I guessed, and I have their entire email and calendar invites and their password manager and all that stuff on my totally not a burner iPhone.
I didn't even think
Not
about the
a burner
password
iPhone.
manager part. Great. Oh, man, I hate
I don't know who this definitely not a cat is, but they know some things.
They do. They do. That cat gets around. That cat is ruthless.
And I want to
Like right outside your door. Now testify. All right, somebody pick the next story. I picked the last few of them. Like we've got some fun ones, but nothing crazy.
I gotta open.
I have 3 cats. 2 are up for adoption. If you're in the Oregon area, please let me know. I'll give you one of these cats.
You have camera views on all of them currently.
He's got cat cams.
I've got cat cams. You don't have cat cams, Ian?
I guess not. No.
As Ian's like, crap. He got me with the one thing I don't have.
Right. That's right.
Hey, there we go. Somebody wants a cat there. There we go. We got it.
All right, I'll ship it to you. Just send me your address.
What's this?
Ship it.
Wait, I gotta open the news.
Which one are we going to here?
Oh, this is the security. This is like someone wrote some malware and then put in that it's like they're masquerading as security researchers, and then put actual names of real people and said, if you want to be unencrypted, reach out to these people. And I think, keep scrolling down, the news source who's reporting on this is in it. Or no, go scroll back up. The note. These are the
ransom note tells you
the ransom note. The white with
literally
the text.
they put in Lawrence Abrams' name in it.
They said contact Lawrence Abrams for to decrypt.
Once again, I think the theme of the show today is trolling and next level trolling, and that's some next level trolling.
Yeah, how would you not make an article about this? Like, I don't even. Like, I mean, can you imagine this? Like, you just get a random message, or just like someone's like, "Hey, my computer's locked. I'm sending you Bitcoin." You're like, "Whoa, hold on there, buddy."
yeah, just straight to this wallet.
I wonder how many DMs they got on Twitter that had a lot of explicitives, like rolled into it.
So this is what? This is a false flag, or this is just a way to like, is this the new denial of service? You just tell everyone to contact these people and like millions of people get locked and then they just keep getting contacted. They can't like read their email or anything. I don't know.
It's like
and you know that people won't react well. You'd be like, look, the hackers just added in my name. They're messing with you. And people will be like, well, your name's in here and I demand answers.
Some CSO is like, you locked half our company. He's like, no, I didn't. I swear.
How many lawyers contacted him? That's because that's going to be a real thing.
Well, that reminds me of like a longer. Go ahead.
The unfortunate thing, this could set a really bad precedent where obviously the researchers are causing these malicious actors pain. So they're just sharing the pain by false attribution.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point.
Yeah.
Yes. They're sharing the pain, of course. God, we're just going through, this is like the weirdest shit. But the other thing that would make me uncomfortable is if my name was in there, it'd be like, crap, they know who I am. Like, this is probably, out of all the things they could do to make your life miserable, this is probably one of the least impactful things that they could do.
Well, that's a lot like
lot worse. What's that, Ian?
Well, I was going to say, that's a lot like what happened to Jake. He tells that whole story on Darknet Diaries. So for those listening who don't know Jake Williams, Malware Jake, he tells a fantastic story about how suddenly a bunch of foreign adversaries, let's just say, suddenly know who he is. And he had to have a bunch of very awkward conversations with his family about work that he had done in the past. And I won't tell the story because I don't want to get it wrong, but you can go check it out on Darknet Diaries. But yeah, basically the attackers are like, hey, we know who you are.
I can tell the story.
It wasn't just his family. It was literally he was getting calls from customers. He was getting calls from like other instructors at SANS. Like when he was outed, it was bad. Like he was outed hard. But there's more to that story too, as always. But yeah, once again, they knew who he was and he was basically set up. And like I said, that's, and even he has said, it's funny. I've asked Jake, with everything that happened, and it did help his career. Like we've had conversations, like it totally helped his career was it worth it? And I think it's interesting because every time I've talked to Jake and I brought that up, every time he said the answer is no. And the reason why he said the answer is no is because all the things that happen, if it was just it, that would be fine, right? That he wouldn't worry about it. But it's the stuff he doesn't know, the stuff that's still in the future, the stuff that may still happen. That's the stuff that bothers him the most. And I think that that's kind of interesting.
I think the other thing that's really crazy is the whole disinformation thing. Like, it is definitely possible that someone just releases a bunch of information about you that isn't even true, but how many people are going to corroborate it depending on how inflammatory it is? How many people are going, like, it becomes a race between you and the trolls, and if the troll farm is larger than you can handle, I don't know.
Years ago in the industry, like right after 2000 or so, it was a very, very common theme to basically quote unquote out people as pedophiles. There were some people in the industry that were very, very, very well known that were arrested for pedophilia and things like that. But it became kind of like pre-4chan quote unquote joke to play on people where they would literally do that. And then there was also some things where some very, very, very sensitive chat messages were released with some people that are actually fairly high profile in the industry, and they were legit chat messages. But that was kind of what was done back then, like pre-doxing, before it actually became a thing. And yeah, it actually caused massive reputational harm to people in the industry.
Wait, messages can be faked? That's impossible. How can messages be faked? You can't just edit HTML source code. I'm just kidding.
No, you
we
can't.
saw this with Sony too, right? All the Sony execs had all their messages and emails released by theoretically North Korea, and that caused a lot of harm to them. There's a good example of this, of a defense against this, was Macron's campaign got word that they were going to be hacked, and they didn't want emails to get released because there may be sensitive information, so they filled their boxes with fake emails. Loads of them.
And documents. Don't forget documents.
So people wouldn't know what was real and what was fake, and then therefore they couldn't publish it. It was an interesting deception move that you don't hear about.
The other thing that was really interesting about that is, what was the name of the website? God, I completely forgot the name of the website where they released everything.
WikiLeaks? Was it WikiLeaks?
WikiLeaks. It was WikiLeaks. So it was interesting because when WikiLeaks posted on Twitter, almost immediately the campaign responded back with saying, hey, a whole bunch of that data is fake. And then WikiLeaks responded with, we haven't even posted all of it. How do you know some of it's fake this quickly? And then WikiLeaks had to come back and say, oh, no, yeah, some of this stuff is fake. And like you said, it completely killed any news story and any data that came out of that entire trove of emails. It just nuked it. No reporter would touch any of it after that point.
So John, I'm going to send you an email about our new space program we're starting up at BHIS. Just hit approve when you see that email. This is a disinformation campaign.
Once again, that's my role here, Corey. Thank you. That's what I do.
I honestly wonder, like, should you just fill up your GitHub with like fake stuff? I mean, it's like canaries almost. It's like fill up disinformation. You know you're going to get compromised. Should you just fill up like a bunch of fake credit cards in like a database called like Totally Real Database? I don't know.
So I put canaries in my GitHub just to see how many like people would hit. So like AWS keys and stuff like that. And it still hits every now and then. Like it just randomly, like someone stumbles across it and tries to log in on it. It was more of just as an experiment to see if it would just like automatically get destroyed and I'd have to turn it off. But it's fun stuff.
There's a lot of.
I'm trying to find the article. It was on the old paul.com website before we got away from that and went to Security Weekly. But I literally had a blog post that I did that was like, Dear Future Hackers. And it was like, congratulations, you've hacked Security Weekly. Well done. We're all very, very proud of you. And you showed immense skill in identifying the shortcomings of what we did. And it basically went on and said something to the effect of, you should use your powers for good and not evil. Contact us and we'll give you like all this stuff. And I posted it as a Dear Future Hacker thing. Security Weekly totally got hacked at one point, and we literally posted it and sent it to them. And it was kind of weird that we had done that in the past, and it kind of threw the attackers off, like off base. I've also been known back whenever I was doing server maintenance for BHIS, well in the before 4 times of BHIS, I would put little text files at the root of the C drive of our systems that were literally a little note that I would write to the hacker that would hack the website, because I was like, it's just inevitable. It's going to happen. And totally had somebody hack Super Happy Funtime APT generation toolkit, and they literally contacted me, and they were like, "What happened? I got this file. Like, what do I get?" I'm like, "I'm going to send you an iPad Mini. That's your bug bounty. Thank you very much." And they're like, "Well, did you put something on my computer?" I'm like, "You'll never know. Enjoy."
Enjoy the mini. No, what's funny is there's a lot of precedent for that type of deception, though, and the one that comes to mind immediately is Hollywood, when there are really high level like Avengers Endgame or Star Trek movies where there's a plot points. Often the different groups and teams will get scripts that have just the slightest variation in either like the one I think of Star Trek is the name of the ship. It was like this ship comes in, and if that data got leaked online, they would know exactly which crew to go look at because it was such a superfluous detail, but one that they could immediately key in on. And it's a lot like the Macron campaign. You put all that data in there, and they're like, if you're sharing that, then we know what mailbox you got that out of. And we
That's
can go.
the way to do it. Canary token every one of your users, and then when they, when Kaspersky or whoever exfils the data, you'll know how it happened. Also, meow. Meow,
Yeah,
meow,
meow.
meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
That cat's just dreaming of Meow Mix. All right. Well, folks, let's wrap it up a little bit early. It's Halloween, and there's candy and kids and joy and merriment and, like cauldrons that Bronwyn's got to get to, which, by the way, that's like the only time of the year I can say that to her, and it's like, okay, it's like, why don't you get to your cauldron? Double, toil and trouble. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you next week.